If you're Donald Trump, the already weird guy who spends his rallies praising a make-believe cannibal and railing about water pressure in toilets, and you're saddled with a weird VP pick in J.D. Vance, whose attempt at comedy looks like this.
Democrats say that it is racist to believe, well, they say it's racist to do anything. I had a Diet Mountain Dew yesterday, and one today. I'm sure they're going to call that racist too, but it's good.
Then the last thing you want is for Kamala Harris to have chosen a VP candidate who is the absolute foil to that weirdness. And yet, that's exactly what she did. Tim Walz, the Democratic governor of Minnesota, is peak authenticity. Need some proof? Here's a video that should probably help explain things.
Hey Minnesota, Governor Walz here, out at the State Fair with my daughter.
Hope.
Every year we as a family do something old and something new. I get to pick something, a classic, the old mill ride, to do that. And then Hope gets to pick something new.
I think we're gonna go do the slingshot.
Which I don't know what it is, and they're keeping it from me. But then we're gonna go get some food, corn dog.
I'm vegetarian.
Turkey then. And
Turkey's
then,
meat.
Not in Minnesota, turkey's special. And we will go do some of those things and report back.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
Woo! Wow, that is wild.
That was pretty cool, actually.
That is wild.
In fact, it was Walz himself who debuted the attack against the Trump-Vance ticket as weird on MSNBC's Morning Joe, proving how adept he was at messaging right off the bat.
We do not like what has happened where we can't even go to Thanksgiving dinner with our uncle because you end up in some weird fight that is unnecessary. and I think bringing back people together, well, it's true, these guys are just weird. And it's, you know, they're running for He-Man Women Haters Club or something.
And it's not just the fact that Walz had his finger on the pulse in terms of the creepiness of this Republican ticket. A ticket of two men focused on inserting themselves between women and their doctors. Two men who are focused on inserting themselves between families and IVF, and on and on. There's also the fact that he's an amazing candidate unto himself. The guy is probably best known for signing into law a bill that would provide free breakfast and lunches to students in Minnesota, regardless of their parents' income, which resulted in this moment right here.
It is now
law.
Well done. Thank you. That's a great look at that. Thank you, guys.
Meanwhile, when it comes to kids, recent reporting about J.D. Vance was him explaining how he told his 7-year-old kid to, quote, shut the hell up because he was on the phone with dear leader Donald Trump.
My son, who's 7, is in the hotel room with me, and he's really into Pokemon cards right now. He's going through a Pokemon phase. Are you guys into Pokemon?
I am. Back in the day,
Okay,
yeah.
That's a big phase right now, I think, in general.
Yeah. So, I mean, he's really into it. So he's trying to talk to me about Pikachu. And I'm on the phone with Donald Trump. And I'm like, son, shut the hell up for 30 seconds about Pikachu. This is the most important phone call of my life. Please just let me take this phone call. And he doesn't care. He's like, he doesn't know what the President of the United States means.
So yeah, remind me which of these two guys comes from the party of family values. But back to Walz, if Trump needed another reason to worry about him, it's that he does what Vance doesn't. Remember, Vance being chosen was the result of Donald Trump's hubris against Joe Biden. Vance offers nothing that Donald Trump doesn't already bring. He's not moderate, he's not from a swing state, he's not a different race or religion or gender, he is just Donald Trump 2.0. But Walz offers plenty beyond what Harris has to offer herself. He's a white man, he's Midwestern, he's got rural appeal, he's got military experience. In fact, he's the longest-serving military veteran to be a vice presidential nominee. He served in the National Guard for the Army for 24 years. He also was a teacher and a coach. He was chosen not just because of his massively impressive policy background, but because his presence on the ticket offers a permission structure for other voters who may not have felt super connected to Kamala Harris to find a kindred spirit in Tim Walz. His presence on the ticket accomplishes the one thing that Vance failed at doing, expanding the coalition. And the Democrats know it. Here's just a small sampling of what the top surrogates for the campaign have said thus far.
Vice President Harris actually picked somebody who actually is capable of governing from day one should he be called upon to do so, and someone who has an incredible record of actually running something and getting things done. He also is a really great fit for all of the states across America. I mean, he grew up on a farm. This guy believes in the Second Amendment. He's a hunter. He's a fisher. He's going to be able to relate to lots of people. Let me say this. He can talk a dog off a meat truck. You've seen all of the statements that he's made. He is really, really good. And I think he's going to add great value to the ticket, and I think it's going to be a major plus for us.
And here's what Kamala Harris herself had to say at their first rally as a ticket in Philadelphia.
Since the day that I announced my candidacy, I set out to find a partner who can help build this brighter future. A leader who will help unite our nation and move us forward. A fighter for the middle class. A patriot who believes, as I do, in the extraordinary promise of America. A promise of freedom, opportunity, and justice, not just for some, but for all. So, Pennsylvania, I'm here today because I found such a leader.
And finally, I'll leave you with this. You've heard me give my thoughts on Tim Walz. Here's who he is straight from his own mouth.
Sometimes life is as much about the lessons you learn as the lessons you teach. When I grew up, community was a way of life. My high school class was 24 people. I was related to half of them. I learned to be generous towards my neighbors, compromise without compromising my values, and work for the common good. I worked with Republicans to pass an infrastructure bill, cut taxes for working families, signed paid leave into law. I codified abortion rights after Roe got overturned. Because I go to work for the common good. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. Because that's what this election is about. It's about your future. It's about your family.
So let's be honest, it was bad enough that Donald Trump saddled himself with someone like J.D. Vance, but the addition of Tim Walz to the Democratic ticket certainly does feel like the cherry on top, given just how compelling, how authentic, and how sincere he actually is. If I was Donald Trump, I would feel anything but confident heading toward November. Before you go, to see more content from MSNBC, make sure to subscribe to this channel by clicking the link right here on this screen. And you can also follow the link to see some exclusive content only on TikTok.